All right. Good evening, everybody. Hello, Coco Type. Yes, you are still not being banned from caps. All caps until the camera is up. Oh, well, hold on then. Hang on. There you go. Go for it. Put as many caps as you like. See, now he's not typing anything. What happened to that threat? See? Empty threat. All caps until no camera. No camera. Not seeing any caps. Just saying. Go on, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna let you use caps even if I do have the camera on. How about that? It was a moment. We shared a moment. The moment gone. It was like a 2021. It was a thing of the past. You think you're super delayed? Yeah, I don't think you're that delayed. Maybe just where you are. All right, so let me see. If the volume's too loud, by the way, let me know. I'm trying to figure out the volume on the microphone here says it's spiking quite high, but I don't know if it's too high for the actual stream. So please let me know, or we'll see how that works out. All right, we are back. I meant to do some more streams last week, and I'm sorry I didn't get to it. It was an absolutely insane first week back at the jobby job. So I was exhausted. I'm not going to kid you, folks. I slept like a baby most of the week when I just crashed and burned. So anyway, here we are. Okay. Now we're back on our game here. We've got our sprite effect going on here. Although I gotta find somewhere and I missed it because I didn't write it down. The code that Coco Type so generously gave us to improve the movement of the ship, and I've lost it because I know it was on his stream, and I think that's dropped off the cycle by now. However, the good news is, sure we can figure it out. But what I thought we would look at today, two things. Two things. Number one, let's add. You remember we were talking about in the previous stream and the idea of having some, slower moving items in the background to kind of give us a bit of a fake depth feel, right? Like some planets and so on. So I quickly hacked up, like very quickly. Um, Let me show you here. I very quickly hacked up just 3 different shapes. They're actually different size PNG files, but I don't think Xcode seems to care about that. So we may have to make them different sizes. But basically 3 different shapes to simulate just some planets. I scored a point without even doing anything. But 3 planets, right? And we'll have them at different sizes, different speeds, randomly moving in the background for the game. That's the idea here. So we're going to do that today. I forgot to submit that pull request too. Yeah, talk about timing. We didn't even plan this, folks, and that brings me to the second thing. I had suggestions, and oh, hey, Nicholas, how you doing, buddy? Some other folks had asked about it. My own treachery had asked. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make this repository. I pulled down the old one. So Coco Type, if you go looking for the old one, buddy, it's not there anymore. But I've made a new one for this one. And it's not public. What I'm thinking I'm going to try is it's a private repo at the moment because my concern was at least at this time, didn't want to make this just available for everyone to steal the hard work that I've put in and that you're all putting in and the fact that this is turning into something. But I also wanted to make it available to all of you because you've been working so hard on this as well and fixing my crap, as it were. So what I've done is I've made a private repo up on GitHub, and I'm not sure how we're going to do this. I'm thinking that if you are one of the folks who, comes and hangs out in the stream, hangs out in the chat room. Hey, I'll set it up and give you access to it to do with it whatever you want, because that's the way this should be. But I guess in a way, it's also a bit of an incentive for some folks to drop by the stream, drop by the chat room, right? The idea is that, yeah, you know what? You can have this code, you can do whatever you want with it, just like we're all doing with it, but you need to be an active participant. And right now, unless anyone's got any better suggestions, that's the only way I can think to do this, right? With that, so that all the effort doesn't go to anybody who wants it without, some contribution to making this a cool thing. So that's the idea. Let me know what you think, but I think that's the way we're going to go with it. So later on in the stream, I'll give you the URL for the repository on this, and or if you want, in the stream here in the chat room, give me your GitHub username and I'll add you to the repo for it. So that's the second thing. So that's that. Okay, so we have these 3 graphic files, very simple graphic files. It took all of about a minute to put those together. I know, you can tell, right? And we're going to have 3 different planets, planet 1, 2, and 3, just to, again, get this working. Obviously, we're moving along with this. Do what you want with it. That's dangerous wording. Well, there is a license on there. I did put a license. It's a GPL3. Felt like the most appropriate. If you turn this into something, okay, part of the GPL3, and this was part of the idea here, was I thought, as I'm reading through all the different licenses, and I'm by no means an expert on this, but GPL3 is basically no closed source distribution, right? You got to give back. So if you take it and do something with it, that's fine, right? There's commercial use on it, but you have to make that available. So whatever you do with it, you have to make that available. Make sense? So when you're rich and famous and living on the boat in the Bahamas or something, or Hawaii, which is obviously Coco Type's plan, we can tell, right? He's got to, hey, he may get the rich and famous, but he's got to give us the code back. All right. Because obviously this is going to be the next big thing, right? Forget Doom, forget VR and AR and everything else. This game is it. This is what everyone's going to want to be playing, right? Yeah. So anyway, that's the idea. Bit of an experiment. We'll see how it goes. But I wanted to give it back to you all, but I didn't want to give it to just everybody. Only those who actively contribute to stuff in the chat rooms and so on. You're moving to the Alaskan wilderness. It's almost kind of the same thing, right? You're not a help. Yeah, I'm not a hot weather person either, right? You know. Hey, let's see if I'm gonna try and pronounce this name, and I'm gonna mess it up. I know I am. Over in the YouTube chat, hello, Nadis Taviz, I think it is. I'm not sure what Vanfi means, but hey, welcome to the chat. All right, so let's get into this, shall we? Should we have some fun doing some coding things with planets? So we've got this planet 1, 2, and 3. The idea is that just like the ship here, right, these planets will randomly come along, non-interactive, in the background, give us a bit of depth, a bit of interest going on with our real-time randomly generated star field. So let's go over to our game scene here. And what we're going to do is, I think what we should do is we should now start to think about this a little more properly than just putting these things in here and messing around with them. So what I'm thinking is we should have something, right? Some kind of, whatever we're going to call this, some kind of generator that generates the non-interactive content. Could be planets, could be any number of things in the future, right? So I think we want to encapsulate all of these into one thing, and then we have that running and it generates its own stuff. We can add more things to it in the future beyond the 3 planets and everything else. That's my thinking on this. So, what I'm thinking is we will make, and we should start organizing this code as well. But I think what we should do here is we will make a new group and we'll call this, let's call it, I don't want to call it, we've got the assets and I don't want that to be that. So I'm going to call this the game elements, right? And then just in here, we will make a new file. We're going to make a new Swift file. It's probably going to end up being a struct is what I'm thinking. We will call this, what about background content generator? How about that? Right? Fancy name, right? Okay, there we go. So we're going to have this background content generator. I think it can be a struct because it's only going to be generating stuff from its own entities here, right? Doesn't need to be a class because there's not going to be any interactivity here as such. We're going to kick this thing off. We're going to start it. We're going to stop it. And that's that. Other than that, it's going to take care of itself. So that's that. I don't, Alaska's probably a little bit too, well, see, the thing is, Alaska is awesome looking. Never been there, but it's awesome looking. I wonder if it might be a little too cold. I don't know. And there's a lot of wildlife in Alaska. All right. So we're going to make a struct here. We'll call this background content generator. Give me 1 second here. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Coco Type. Appreciate that information. All right. So we'll just ignore that. Hang on 1 second. We are gonna do that there. Thank you, Coco Type. Real time there. Look at that. All right. So we got this struct, right? So what I'm thinking is, and I'm thinking in real time here, so it's going to be terrible. I'm thinking we have just an array of things, right? And those will randomly pick. We'll have it randomly pick one from the things and throw it up on the screen, right? Now each of those things will know about itself, of course, right? And take care of itself. So let's start by saying, I guess array of content, no, array of objects. How about that? I don't think we really need a model for these. I don't know. We'll see as we go, right? But it is going to be well, its type is going to be an array of assets, I guess. Well, let me think. They'll probably end up being nodes, right? But we'll let it take care of itself here. So I got to think, do we start with an empty array? Then we're going to have to create the nodes. We're going to define the nodes in the file here, but they won't be known at this point, only when it's instantiated. But I think for a second, what do we think? I feel like the right thing would be, let's do this a different way. Tell you what, let's do this. So let's start by sort of long forming this a bit, right? So we'll let planet 1. It's going to be an SK node, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and save myself some code in here. Let's just borrow some of this, right? I'm going to keep retyping this stuff. So we're going to go in here. Actually, let's do this. Okay, so var planet 1 is, I know, right? Planet 1. Shocking. I think we want these to be vars because we do want to change properties on these. Random speed, random size, random location. So we'll go with vars for now. They may be lets later on. We'll see, right? It's gonna tell me it cannot find. It's understandable. Let's import SpriteKit. And I just want to go down here, save myself retyping all of this stuff. Take that there. Okay. Let's just sketch. Again, we're just going to sketch this out, right, in code. Oh, whoops. Didn't really need those. But this is not going to add this here. Oh, but that's because there is no player. Just let me refactor it. Okay. '91. Hope everybody had a good weekend, by the way. Let me know how that went for you. What'd you get up to? I have been struggling to figure out what I want to do with the Compile Swift website. So let me know, folks, right? I don't know, looking at the traffic on the website, whether to just make the compileswift.com website list the podcast episodes and the live streams here, or whether I should continue to put up tutorials and codey things on there as well. I don't know. Share your thoughts with me on that. It does seem like folks tend to go there more for the tutorials and the codey things than they do for, you know, finding out the listing of the latest podcast episode in the archives. But let me know. Share your thoughts. I'm currently working through whether I want to spend time redesigning it, rebuilding it to make it easier, whether I should let other folks put content on there as well. I don't know. My own treachery, how you doing, buddy? How's your weekend going? We are doing some planets this weekend, and I don't think you was in the stream earlier. I'm going to share the details with you. I've set up the repo, and I'm going to make it available to folks on GitHub, but only folks who take part in the stream and the chat room here. So it won't be a publicly accessible one. So like I say, if anybody wants access to the repo, you are more than welcome to it. Just put your GitHub name. Either send it to me by whatever network you want to use, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Or if you want to put it in the chat room here, or if you want to email it to me, that's fine. Or use the contact form, compileswift.com. But I'm only going to make it available to those who contribute to the stream here, of which my own treachery, of course, you're one of those folks. You've been key in a lot of the code here. So thank you for that. I want to give it back to you all. Okay, so we are got our planet 1. We're just gonna it for now. I get it, right? It's gonna be down here, but I just want to get this running, and then we'll make this awesome after that. So, okay. Now, we will put some actions in here as well. We're gonna make this a self-running thing. I think the way this should work is once we instantiate the background content generator, it should just run itself, is what I'm thinking. Is the stream not working properly, or is it me? Oh, uh-oh. What are you, what problems are giving you? If it's a case of he looks weird, this is the way I look. Sorry, it's not the stream. What's it not doing for you? Let me know. By the way, I do have, if anybody's interested, it's not used by anybody. I know, sad face, except me. I do have a Slack for Compile Swift if you're interested, but it's up to you. I know a lot of it must be you. Well, let me know, right? Let me know what the problem is, because maybe it's not you. Maybe maybe we're just intentionally doing it to you to freak you out. Anyway, so I think let's just do this in a very basic way. Get this started. So for the init, let's just have well, let me think, because we got to make sure that we have a way. We want to create it here, right? We want to set this up. And now that I think about it, we probably want to, however we do this, we should have the ability to just turn this on and off, right, on here, like game ends, you pause it, whatever. We don't want to kill the CPU. We should have this stop. Kicked you out? Wow. Well, we didn't kick you out. I can promise you that. Yeah. Unless we did. So I think that this, what do you think? I feel like this should be something that we should be able to add and remove over here. I don't know. We're going to have to think about it, I guess. We'll see as we go. Okay, so let's not do an init here, right? But what I am going to do is let's think. This should return a node, right? Actually, it should be a sprite node. Sorry. No, wait a minute. I can't, because if I return it, I can't return it here. I want to set the properties here, right? Position, scale, movement, everything else. And then if I return it to the parent, it should be based on the parent's location, just like we were before, right? I think that's what's going to happen. So let's find out. Well, let's keep going. We'll find out. All right. Actually, you know what? I mean, if we did it that way, you don't even need that there. But let's do this. Okay. Did you mean to call it with maybe? Oh, no, I didn't. I guess because it's got the same name, right? That gonna make it happy? Oh, sorry. Typo. Kick my own treasury. Yeah, I don't think so. Yours looking good. I feel like it's a new all-time low. Use a custom init method. Then when you call it from the game scene, you can enter the parameters you need one. Yeah, that's probably when I think what we'll do is we will have the custom init that'll be the one that kicks off randomly picking from our 3 different planets and any other objects we have in the array at that point. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. If they don't need to interact with anything, why make them nodes at all? Why not a planet particle emitter with a really slow birth rate? I guess it could be a particle emitter and then have the particle emitter randomly assign, from X number of assets. Is that what you're thinking? So that the quote texture on the emitter would be like in this case planet 1 or planet 2 or planet 3. Is that what you're thinking, Coco Type? Maybe I'm overcomplicating this, you think? Something like that. I was really hoping you would say something like exactly that. Okay, let me think. So it would be we would have a particle emitter, something like exactly that. There you go. That's what we want. So it would be like our current one for the background stars, right? But we just generate one and only one. And it's not like this is going to be a constant thing, right? It's not like it's going to be one planet after another. This will be a random thing over time. Wow, how bad do you think my score is going to be by the end of this stream? Anyone want to take any bets? I'm telling you this much, it's going to be a minus number. Maybe, you know what? Need to, maybe someone wants to do a pull request for an autopilot on this, right? Have it line up with the enemy ship. Not a bad power-up idea. Okay, so let's try that then. I'm willing to give that a go. And then we can just put that on there and add and remove the emitter. Sure. You know what? Something I did mean to do was do I just call it particles? Yeah. No, it should be particle emitter, right? Particle emitters. It really should. And then let's take those, put those in there, put that one in there, clean this up a little bit, right? Come on, Peter, clean your code up, buddy. Starfield. Oh, actually, wait, didn't mean to do that one. Okay. Okay, let's try this. New file, particle emitter. I guess it doesn't matter which one. I wasn't around for the stars, but I assumed that was how it was built. So I was wondering why not use this. It was, yes, it was a particle emitter. Yeah, just different background elements. Yeah, you can set the texture file. My Own Treachery says you could create an enum planet identifier holding 3 different planet names as strings, then have a static let all planets equals. Yes, that's exactly where we were going with that. Yeah. Then maybe create a random function that picks an. That's exactly, you are on the page there, buddy. That is exactly what I was thinking. So that's what I was going to do. But we could still do the same thing here. But instead of, if we have the particle emitter, we would just randomly pick the graphic file and assign it to the texture, right? Which may actually be less CPU overhead. I'm going to go with minus 1,100 by the end of the stream. Place your bets, folks. Place your bets. guess it doesn't matter which one I pick on here, right? But I do want to see what magic looks like. And we'll call this background. Whoops, background. Background. What did I call that thing? Background content. I guess I could just call it background content, right? Let's do that. Oh, so that's what magic is. Okay. We will choose. Are my files on there? No, because I'm looking at the wrong thing. Okay, texture. Let's just go with planet 1. Ooh. Wow. You know what? Do you ever have those days when you feel sick in your stomach? That's exactly what it looks like. 796. I think you're a little low. I think you're optimistic. I mean, I like that you think my score might be better than that, but for the acid level, yeah, this is the oh my god, can't believe I'm going to do this. This is for the interstellar intestinal challenge. The special interstellar intestinal event. Thing is, any other time, if you wanted to do that, you'd probably have to sit and like, oh, am I going to do this? You wouldn't just randomly like, oh, I'll just make a circular graphic, right? Let's see what the other colors look like. Oh, they're all going to be green. Of course, they're all going to be green. Should have thought of that. Now, here's the thing, though. Hang on. Because I know I did this before. Yeah, that's Smoke Monster from Lost Time, right? So actually, we don't want a color ramp. Now we're talking about it. First of all, we want a maximum of 1, right? No, sorry. Maximum of 1. Okay. I'll have to type it in. Oh, you know what? If we ever need to fly past planets in this direction, nailed it. Oh, okay. I see what's going on here. Maybe choosing the maybe choosing the magical one wasn't such a good idea. All right. Position range. I guess these are the ones that are randomly generated, right? No, maybe I got that. 0, 0, 0. Why is it going to a different location? That's what I don't understand. I think it's still doing it. Yeah, it's still doing it. Okay. So on this, I don't think it's changing location anymore. Just, oh, rotation. Okay, yeah. Let's find out. So let's set the, I just set 0 and 0. No, that's still doing something. Scale, alpha. I'm looking for any numbers that aren't 0. Color blend, whatever. Let's get rid of the color blend for starters. Okay. Looks to me like, let me click somewhere here. Okay, I'll click there. Just set that to, oops. No, that was bad. 1, that's what I wanted. And set, we don't want the alpha to change. I want the scale to change. I want the scale to just be see, shouldn't it be stationary at this point? Speed range is still 100. Oh, thank you. Well, we will have to, okay. Now, that said though, we do want it to move down the screen. So I'm going to see what this gets. So we're going to want it to go down. So we're going to want 180. No, minus 90. Sorry. And then the life cycle, we're going to want to do what we did with the star field here, right? So let's pull up the star field, take a look at that. Yeah, we just set a big number so that it made it off the screen. So, oops. Let's do the same for this. Oh, okay. Let's not screw it up. What did I screw up? Lifetime 100, range 0. Speed, range 100. Maybe because that one was a spark. I don't know. Let's slow this down a lot more. There we go. Okay, that's better. You know, when we did the star field, see, we got a lifetime of 100, which let us go from the top to the bottom. The values in the emitter files don't update until you click out the input field. It can be annoying. Oh, thank you. Okay. I'm almost certain I'm screwing that up there. Am I doing it too much? No? Let me, okay, boom, there. birth rate 1. Okay, so that probably, before going any further, that will control our, how quickly we get those. But I'm going to set it to a bigger number now, just so I can see it doing it. Is it because you're setting it higher than the maximum of 1? The lifetime you're talking about? I don't think so, right? That is trippy. First time here. I'm going to try and pronounce your name here. Athiel? Is that, did I get that even remotely close? Hello, welcome to the chat. What SpriteKit like to use? I've only used SpriteKit directly with 3D models. Close enough, thank you. I could keep guessing. Is the A silent? Ethuel? I don't know, maybe. SpriteKit so far to me, I've not had any experience with metal other than watching the DC videos. But I'll throw it out to the chat room if anyone has any opinions. But personally, I'm really liking SpriteKit as far as getting along with it once you get used to the little quirks of like the reverse coordinate system to some other game engines and that kind of thing. Yeah, my own treasury, by the way, is our resident expert, knowledgeable genius on SpriteKit. It's been teaching me through the streams and helping me get through this, like the particles and stuff. But we're playing with some particle emitters here to generate all the content that you're seeing happening on the right-hand side of the screen. The only actual graphic files are the very crappy looking ship, very crappy looking alien, and the missile. Everything else is generated with particle emitters. It wouldn't go that far. Well, okay. You know what? Let's set a reasonable expectation. My own treasury knows a lot more than I do. A lot more than I do. I only know what I've discovered over these recent streams because I normally just write everyday sort of normal applications, which is why I wanted to play with SpriteKit. Metal coordinates are like that too when you're doing transforms. Oh, interesting. So the metal, let me ask you, the metal coordinates, when you're talking about X and Y, and I guess Z, but Z should be straightforward. X and Y, does it start in the very bottom corner? So the bottom left corner is 0, 0 for SpriteKit. So that's where we're at on there. Mellow Hazard, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Really appreciate it. Thank you. So that's how it works on here. My own treachery knows more about SpriteKit than any other person living, dead, or yet to be born. Ooh, that might be just setting the expectation a little higher than what I did. Depends where your anchor point is. Oh, true. Yes, because you can move your anchor point. Yeah. But by default, I think my own treachery, am I right in saying by default, it'll be the bottom left corner? Is that right? Yeah. Yet to be born. So setting a little higher expectation there, I suspect. My own treachery, you better get on that, buddy. All right, hang on. Let's. Oh, now you know what? I'll copy the link, but I'm not going to look at it on the stream. I'll look at that off stream and see. It's Coco Type says it's safe. All right, I'm just going to click it. Let's hang on. I gotta move my screens around here. Let me bring this over. Hold on. There you go. Oh, okay. Actually, so you know what? See, this is the thing. Having it in the center of the screen, I'm feeling like that's better, actually, right? Because you know that presumably whatever device size it is, the center of the screen is always 0, 0. Base your calculations on that. However, I'm trying to think. Systems that I've used in the past, Unity, well, maybe not Unity, but certainly like when I did it a lot in Flash and things like that, it wasn't in the center of the screen. It was always in either the bottom left or the top left corner. So that's interesting. The presumably 0, 0 minus 1 is what? Forward from the 0 location, I guess? Would be like the center of the cube. Is that the way that would work? The textures have a different coordinate system. Okay, so this is the textures. Now, to me, that makes sense for the textures. That makes a lot of sense, right? You know, I could see that, especially if you get into like UV mapping, things like that. That to me makes sense. However, when you combine it with that, whew, I don't know, that gets really weird. That is very interesting. I have wanted to play with metal. I don't know. I feel like since I've got this far with the SpriteKit, maybe I should do some metal stuff sometime. I don't know. We'll have to see. So thank you for that. But that is, yeah, having the two different systems, very interesting. All right, let's get back to this. So here's our current predicament. I need this to keep going forever like the stars do, and then we cap the stars using code, if I remember. Well, actually, they just take care of themselves because they're defined in an area bigger than the screen, if that makes sense. What I'm not understanding is, pretty sure when we did it on the stars, we did it by setting the lifetime. Well, actually, the lifetime slowed it down, right? So I need this to go to the bottom of this, essentially the bottom of this area at least, to make it work. You know, like if this was my planet, was say in this corner over here, got to get down to here, right? And you don't, you're not going to want to do that with speed. Don't want acceleration. Not scale, rotation, or anything. The position range, I don't think that would be that, would it? Right? I mean, let's do like we do, right? Let's randomly punch a number in, but I don't think that's it. I would have thought that the lifetime here. I can't imagine that works with a negative. No, that'll be a 0. Birth rate. So the birth rate, the maximum. I would have thought the lifetime would be. What about if we do 1.5? Are we getting any further down the screen? I don't think so. Because I think that that's just the overall emitter that's the problem. See, my own treachery. I don't think even just cut the stream off. When I got out this before, didn't we? Unless it's a case of scaling the graphic here. Well, yeah, no, we're just going to create the sprite node and an action to move it down the screen, right? Let me know if you're still having issues with the stream, because I can always stop and start it again. Not seeing any dropped frames or anything though. Very well.